What's up, everybody? It's me, it's the B.O.B., and I'm here with my man, Maestro. Maestro, how are you doing today?
Man, I am doing great. Just got through shooting an entire movie. There was no film in the camera, and that just makes winners for everybody.
Oh, I did not forget to hit the record button this time, Maestro. I see it lit up right now.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
We're not gonna waste another 30 minutes talking before I realize none of it's been saved. We're fine. I promise. The red light's on. We're good.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
This is Around the Table with Big Bob and the Maestro. That's the Maestro. I'm Big Bob, and this is the podcast where I sometimes forget to hit the record button. So we are in the Great 8 of SimWorld Hoosteria, and I don't know, Maestro. We were having such a good conversation before. There are lots of surprises, tons of surprises. Some teams are here, some teams are not. We got 3 double-digit teams here in the Grade 8. We got number 9, Illinois, still there. There are some teams. There are some teams there's a team that's still here that we probably all expected to still be here. None of the other teams are here anymore. What's your biggest surprise so far, or biggest disappointments heading into the Grade 8?
Well, just to get it out there, the biggest surprise, and I mean from maybe not as positive as it could be. Okay, so one is SMU. Their schedule was just for the season. Their performance for the season was just a big. It's a bag of rats, man. It was, lose 2, win 3, lose 1, win 1, lose other, and then despite that up and down EKG type season where they started only winning 1 and then losing multiples, and they went on a 4-game winning streak. They lost. They lost to 1-1, and then they lost to 4 heading into Hoopsteria, right?
Yep.
Which means they're not at their optimal point of performance. And that's why my 2 early MVP for the tournament is Maury Washington, because he's been doubling his way through the tournament. And no, he's not the sexy lead scorer, nor is he neither is he the sexy lead scorer, nor is he like the guy everybody's paying attention to. But he's been everywhere SMU needed him to be, the way they needed him to be there in those moments. A lot like what we saw with and again, I don't like doing comps, but you remember how Arthur Lattimore was always seeming to be around the ball at the moment when you needed someone around the ball for your team, right? And he's doing the same thing. He's doing the same thing now at Texas, even though they did not give him the ball as much as I thought they should. But I'm going to leave that alone because we're talking about the now. We're not talking about the then. So that's what he has been. In a way, I think that has surprised a few people because that hasn't been his standard throughout the season, right? So That's one big surprise. But the other surprise was the team that I remember when the seeding came out, and I remember talking about certain teams that were like, how can this sub 500 team be there? And that's Xavier, of course. Yeah. And even if you're going to put them there, how do they get an 11 seed and not be seated, lower? And I'm going to say lower, I mean worse or a higher number. And their season is a complete bag of burning rats. I mean, it's just like the banana factory got blowed up the day before it's supposed to open. It's still on fire, and somebody's still trying to sell s'mores outside. It is everything that went wrong in their season. They never won more than 2 in a row the entire year. 2 losses, 1 win, a loss, win, 3 losses, 1 win, 4 losses, 1 win, 3 losses, 1 win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. And then we get into Hoopsteria, they just get on a heater.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, how there's no other way to explain that, but they found themselves the way they found themselves. And I believe they did it by basically playing a version of rope-a-dope basketball. come out and we're going to make your life offensively so difficult. We're going to play the kind of defense that's going to make your life so miserable. You won't be able to score the way you normally score, no matter what it is. We're going to sacrifice the fluidity of our game to make sure that both of our engines stall. And in doing so, I think they pull so many teams out of their comfort zone, and the way they have won, 63-57, that was the first start of it, right? Against a pretty solid team in Creighton. But then next thing you know, it's 71-58 against St. John's, supposed to be a better team, right? 77-55 against Marquette, supposed to be a better team, right? You see, I think everybody see where this is going. And then, of course, what they did to Michigan State last night. The fact that they didn't score more than 3 points for the first 2.5 hours of the game. And all of a sudden, they go on a burner. Meanwhile, MS Yuck, I'm sorry, too soon. Sorry, JK. Michigan State has a hard time finding their voice the rest of the game, to the point where Michigan State is almost three quarters of a point below their season average in scoring. And they needed to score to catch up, and they couldn't do it. So that's my biggest surprise so far, that dude. Yeah,
I'll talk on Xavier a little bit, because you mentioned they were 11 seed, they're a 14 seed, but still, still for a team that is 3 games under 500, you got to question, how does a team get ranked that high still? But that's what happens whenever essentially every team gets an invite to the big tournament, to Hoopsteria. You're going to have those, but we wouldn't have this great story of here's this 15-18 team making their run through Hoopsteria right now. I mean, with one of the things you mentioned on our secret lost tapes episode, when you mentioned age. And I think that could be something that is in play right now for Xavier, right? Is they have some of that older talent. Some of those guys, they've been playing basketball longer than some of these other teams that are there. And they're playing I would consider complete team basketball. They're playing as a team. You look at what they did against Michigan State. 14 points, 13 points, 12 points, 10 points, 8 points, 7 points. Everybody is getting involved, and nobody's forcing shots that they don't really need to force. I mean, their leading shooter, it was Burleson. He had 13 shots. She had 13 shots, 9 shots, 9 shots, 12, 5. Like, everybody is getting involved, and nobody is bigger than the team. And those are the teams that you generally see who, when we get into the big moments like this, they're the ones that are probably going to succeed a little bit more. Because if you have that team where you have that one guy who feels the need that he's the one that has to always have the ball and he's the one that's going to lead the team, when you're not shooting well, if you think you're still going to be that guy and you're not getting your other teammates involved, it's going to be an issue in the long run. But I think Absolutely. It's just Xavier has a bunch of unselfish players, a bunch of players that people probably have a hard time naming off the top of their head. One thing I do like about Xavier, and I don't think it's been talked about a lot, is they do have a feel-good story on their team. And I don't know if anybody remembers this, but Lenny Williams, he played 21 points in the last game. No points. Played 21 minutes, no points. But if anybody remembers, in I believe it was his last season with SimWorld Prep, he actually was diagnosed with cancer. He was on the originators, had to sit out. But he's sitting here. He's with this Xavier team. He was a leader, a vocal leader for the originators when he was there. And I feel like he's probably a leader in that locker room for Xavier right now. It doesn't matter. And he took one shot. That's all he did. He took one shot. But sometimes, again, having that leader there, having someone who has been through tough times, sometimes you play. They're probably playing for him, because you never know. I mean, those kinds of things, they can go away, but they can come back. So, they're playing.
That's a great view. That's a great view, Big Bob. Yeah, absolutely.
So they're definitely there. Xavier, I think, is just playing the best team ball right now. And your mention of SMU. Yeah, SMU, they were shuffling around all season. Here's some wins, here's some losses, here's some wins, here's some losses. But they're really showing. I mean, you look at I think SMU is becoming a sports collage, if I can say that. You look at they made their first SimWorld U football championship playoff this past season. Lost to Penn State. Yay. But I know. But they're a team that in the past they've been able to get talent, maybe by throwing some money and some Corvettes in there, but either way, everybody else was doing it. They just got caught. But
there you go.
They do have some solid players. I mean, they got Cam Jones in there, one of the stars for Run DMV when he was in SimWorld. He was Run DMV. Did he play for H-Town too? I think.
Oh.
Can't remember off the top of my head.
I think he did.
I think he jumped around a little bit. Hey,
yes.
if the Zen Master Coach Bellardi can do it, so can the players.
There you go.
But they got Macklin Duval. He's their leading scorer. He's their main scorer. You mentioned Maury Washington. He's been doing his thing down low. But they're another team that they're a surprising team right now. But could they have been ranked a little bit higher? Especially with their little run at the end of the season. We pick and choose as media. We pick and choose who really is the good team.
Right.
If a team like Alabama had lost 3 and then won 4 in a row, we'd go, but they're still the best team. But then you get SMU who wins 4 in a row, and it's like, yeah, but it's SMU. Who cares? But again, they took out Arkansas with one of the top players in the country in DJ Wagner. They took out Oklahoma, who went on a surge there at the end of the season because of the likes of Suno Chapa and stuff, because they were underperforming all season. We're questioning most of the season, like what is going on? Like we're not going to see them in the postseason, anything like that. But they did. They beat number 5 Georgia Tech to go meet 13 SMU. But SMU has a tough. It's been a nice story so far for them, for Xavier, for Arizona, who just upset Iowa. Louisville is not going to be an easy task for SMU.
No.
They have, with stars like Pooh Lewis, nobody, I don't know why people don't want to put respect on Kadarius Loftus's name. He showed the kind of shooter that he could be. I know me and you talked in our SWBA mock draft. I think we had him higher than a lot of other people did.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Because his shooting skill, I don't think there is anybody better outside of Trey Turner when it comes to shooting than Kadarius Loftus. And with his 43-point game in SimWorld Prep, I believe it was season 3. Sorry, geez, I'm mixing them all up together. Season 1 of SimWorld Prep. I think it was 12 or 13 threes in the game that he made. He's an elite shooter. The combination of him, Lewis, Jolly Harper, DeMarco Graham. DeMarco Graham was a solid player for the Yacht Club. They have such a good. They're 23-10. They're a team that they're seeded 9th, but should they have really been seeded higher? Again, it's one of those squads where you just go, Louisville isn't what they were, or you don't think of Louisville as to what they were in the past. But they are such a strong squad with an elite shooter who is only going to get better. I think, again, if I will pound the table and say that there is nobody better than him but Trey Turner. And even then, Loftus has a smoother shot. I think Loftus has, as a shooter, I think Loftus might have a higher upside in SWBA personally. Not saying he's going to be better than Trey Turner overall, but shooting wise, I don't know if there is a better pure shooter than Kadarius Loftus right now. So I think SMU is going to have their hands full whenever they take on Louisville this week. But number 1 Alabama taking on number 1 Alabama taking on Arizona. I know Arizona just picked up an upset over Iowa, but who was Iowa outside of Sherwood? You shut Sherwood down.
There you go.
Alabama, you're going to have to. Do they have enough people to shut down that Arizona or the Alabama offense? I I don't think so.
You know what? It's okay. It's uphill, no doubt. But the reality, and I just say it this way, the reality for Alabama is they're the perfect mix of what we just talked about. The older teams with the juniors and seniors that have some sort of experience, presence, right? Versus the younger teams that are freshman, sophomore laden, but those sophomores are going to be first and second round picks, right? Or even lottery picks. So you have, you have the veterans against the talented youth, and Alabama, I think is just enough of a mix of that, projected DJ Childs and Dwan Epps are second round picks. Of course, Quincy Henderson's expected to be a first round pick. And you look at what they're, and you look at there's enough there and enough leaving with what they're going to bring in next year. And that's why I think I even said I hate to think of Alabama as basically with any kind of upside. I think they're going to just basically reload because I think they've defined their culture. So you have these veterans that are teaching the younger players and the younger players are still going to be there when the next group of younger players come in. It won't be such a big turnover, which means I feel like they have a much more solid foundation as a team and can handle a team like Arizona that's coming in there, really freshman and sophomore laden. I don't think Arizona has a single senior on the team. I think they have a couple of juniors and then that's it. So they're super young but super talented.
Yep.
And I have a feeling that Alabama's veteran presence is going to be the difference in this game.
Yeah, Arizona, like no seniors, 2 juniors, and then they got 4 sophomores, 4 freshmen. I mean, they are a young team. Expect to see them back next season,
yes.
Probably in the grade 8. But yeah, I mean that top 5 for Alabama. I mean that's a hard top 5 to go against. And then they have Aiden Weaver's a freshman, but he's a shooter too. He's a good shooter. He gets himself on a hot streak. I loved Aaron Matthews. And again, he's only averaging 18.6 minutes a game. But when you have the DJ Childs, 11 Cutlers, the Dwan Epps, Rodrigo Falls, Quincy Henderson's, it's going to be hard. They all kind of spread the minutes out a little bit, but you're not going to take them off the court for too long whenever the games are this big. Coach Oates isn't going to risk giving some of those younger guys, unless they're the stars like your 11 Cutlers, on giving them a ton of minutes when the game is when your when your season is truly on the line, because it's win or go home at this point. But yeah, I think the veteranship mixed with that youth for Alabama, I do think it's going to be hard. I think Alabama right now with the teams that are left, Alabama's probably going to. I think they're going to win it all at this point.
They have to be the favorurt.
They're definitely
have to be, but I think they are.
Alabama is the favorite. So right now, let's see. We didn't talk about. I'm going to mention Jalen Snow's name just for JK, but I'm going to ban us from saying it. Nothing else. Nope. Say nothing else. Banned for the rest of the episode. Can't say anything else. Can't mention it anymore. Can't even mention that type of weather. We're good. So we got 4 games left, Maestro. Arizona, Alabama, UCLA, San Diego State, Xavier, Illinois, Louisville, SMU. Of all those teams, give me your quick. What do you see happen in those 4 games?
I see Bama coming through. I see SMU finding a way over Louisville. Ooh. I see Xavier managing their game against Illinois. Illinois has been too offensively inconsistent this whole season. And on the other side, I know it's another underdog pick, San Diego State against UCLA. I like UCLA. I like what they have, but I really like what San Diego State is bringing to the table at the time they're bringing it to the table. So yeah, that's mine. I'm going Alabama, SMU, Xavier, and San Diego State for my Final 4.
I feel like because of how bad I did with my initial picks, I'm gonna have to go with not my gut, but I'm gonna go with Bama for sure. I just don't know if San Diego State has enough to slow down that one player on that one team out there in the West region.
Blaine Kidd, right?
So yeah. Hey, first triple-double in SimWorld Prep history, Blaine Kidd. Don't forget him.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that other team out there in the West region, probably taking on Alabama in the quad. I got to stick with Kadarius Loftus and Pooh Lewis, though. I am going to go Louisville over SMU. The Illinois Xavier one is tougher. I would love for Xavier to continue, but I just think Illinois, D'Angelo Jordan, he knows when to turn it on. And,
yes.
You look at that team, I'm pretty sure half the team is Lakeshore Drive. They've been playing together this isn't their first time playing together.
Right. Oh, that's a great point.
I'm pretty sure D'Angelo Jordan, Zagor, I'm pretty sure Kiri Holtzclaw all played for Lakeshore Drive. I know Zagor and D'Angelo Jordan did for sure. Kiri Holtzclaw, I feel like he did, but anyways, I gotta go. I think I'm gonna go with Illinois. I want to go with Xavier. I love the story, but I think I gotta go with Illinois. So I got Louisville, Illinois, the other team in the West region that we're not gonna name, and that player we're not gonna name, and Alabama. You got Alabama, San Diego State, Xavier, and SMU.
Yes, I do.
All right. Well. We'll see how we did here.
We'll see how we did.
We'll see how we did here. May 27th after the quad, which is on May 26th. We'll check back in and see how we did. Somehow we're all going to lose in this one, Maestro.
I know. I feel it too.
We both pretty much picked the opposite teams, but we're both going to completely lose somehow. Somehow
it's gonna happen.
SMU is gonna completely collapse. I don't know. Something is gonna. Well, Maestro, I appreciate you as always. We are still recording 21 minutes and 53 seconds into this episode. The recording did not stop somehow. I didn't. Do you have any final words for the people?
I always thank everybody for checking us out, and I always thank everybody for just being there with us. And let us know what you think. We just gave you our pull for our Final Four. Let us know what you think it's going to be and why you think it's going to be that way. We love hearing from. I'll let your boys. Come on. Let's do what we got to do.
Let us know. You got any questions? Let us know. But I appreciate everybody for listening as always, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.